Hello. What I thought I'd do in this video is demonstrate how to create a vendor. I'm going to do the most simple thing possible. I'm just going to create an NPC who's only got one line of dialogue and just demonstrate how to get him basically to open his vendor inventory. So I'm going to I'll create a voice type for him first, just to make sure that I absolutely block out any of the base game dialogue. So I'll just call it tutorial vendor voice, okay? And I'm going to go to my actor and I'm going to right click new. And I'm going to give him an ID, just tutorial vendor. Give him a name, vendor. Give him a short name, vendor. And I'm going to give him the voice type, tutorial vendor voice. And I'm going to make him unique. I'm then going to hit OK. And so next up I'm going to create a quest which will enable us to speak to him and have him open his vendor inventory. So I'm going to right click, new. I just give it tutorial vendor quest. I'll leave it without a name, it doesn't need one because it'll never show up. Priority 45 and hit OK. And now I'm just going to look tutorial vendor quest, here we go. And I'm going to create a quest alias. And this alias is going to point to the unique actor that we made earlier, which is the tutorial vendor character. So I'm just going to give it the alias name, just call it vendor, hit unique actor, and then search for tutorial vendor. Okay. And now we're going to go over to scenes. I'm going to right click new and create a new scene. So I just call it tutorial vendor scene. And this is exactly the same. If you've made any dialogue before, this section is exactly like that. Just click on it to make sure it's active. And if I hit player dialogue, this start phase will come up. We're going to right click a new actor and we're going to select our alias vendor. And then if we double click the greeting, we need to give it a ID. So tutorial vendor greeting. And we need to give it a response. So, hello, do you want to buy my things? Okay. And we're going to condition this so that only our NPC can say it. So get a search for tutorial vendor in here. So get his ID, tutorial vendor equals 1. So only tutorial vendor will say this line. And we hit OK. Hit OK again. And now we're going to right click, add phase end. And we're going to insert the player's dialogue. So I'm going to right click, new action, player dialogue. Hit OK. And then this has come up. And so I'm only going to add one response, just for the purposes of, this tutorial. So I'm just going to have, yes, I'd like to see them as the prompt. And then the response text, just have, yes, I'd like to see them. Just have those exactly the same. Okay. And now for this, we're going to have, this is what the NPC will say. So we're going to have him say, great, take a look. Hit OK. And now we're going to add a script to this this topic, so that when he's finished speaking, he'll open his thing. We're going to do it here, so we're going to hit add. And luckily I've already got vendor in my filter, so we're looking for this vendor info script, and just double click that and just cancel when this comes up because there are no properties. And so basically what this script does, if we edit the source, we can have a little look. Essentially it creates a little timer, and then after a while it shows the bottom menu here. And then we could probably get away with we might be able to get away with putting some of this in the fragments section here, but it's probably easier to just insert this because then we're not creating loads of extra scripts, because all scripts are stored externally rather than within your plugin. So every time you create a fragment, it's creating a new little tiny fragment script in your scripts folder. So it's much easier to just use the base game stuff where you can. So vendor info script will work fine. And if you want to add multiple random ones, we can click this topic button to get a better look. And we can just add extra topics here. And hit random. And then we can add an extra one. So here's what I've got. This will come up. We'll hit random again, but we'll have to add the script to every single one. But that only takes about a second, so it's fine. So I'll only bother with 2 random ones, but we can have as many random responses as we want. And hit OK. And you can see all our extra random responses have come up. And so now I'm going to close that and save. But at the moment he's showing his barter menu, but our problem is obviously he doesn't have a barter menu, so we're going to need to create a little chest for him to have. So first of all, I'm going to start just by putting him in the game, and I'm going to put him in Abernathy Farm, like this, just for the, everything I do in these tutorials goes here. And then we're going to go down to the container section. And again, the way the base game works, it has these little weird, not real chests that kind of float around in the void. And so we're just going to duplicate one of those. So something we'll duplicate trash can collars, and you can see they look like this. They just have chest written on them. And it doesn't actually matter if you use these. You can use any container, but I'm just using it because it's already got all the vendor stuff in it, and I can't be bothered populating my list. So you can see the kinds of things it's got here. But you can create your own thing and fill it with whatever. You can either fill it with just straight up junk items like this. It's got a power relay coil in it, or you could fill it up with any of these leveled list items. So LL underscore, and then there'll be something like vendor components, vendor weapons, and vendor armor, vendor ammo, all that kind of stuff. You can fill it up with anything you want. But I'm just going to duplicate this tutorial vendor chest like that. I'm going to hit OK, and yes, we want to create a new form. And here's our tutorial vendor chest. I'm going to click and drag it into the world. And we're just going to make it, hold Z, and it floats down. And we can see it's down here in the void now. And we're going to just need to go, because we'll need to use this in a second, so we just need to get the camera focused in on it. And now we're going to go to the faction section, and we're going to create a faction for the for our vendor. Now let me see, where's factions? There it is. I'm going to right click, new. And you'll see these have these general sections where we can put our members in. And vendor section, which is where we can set our members up as being vendors. So we're going to go tutorial vendor faction. We don't really need to give it a name, but I'll just call it vendor faction. And we're going to check he is a vendor. And again, for the pure simplicity of it, we'll have him start at hour 0, end at hour 24, so he's always a vendor. Location, let's just put near self within a radius of 200. And then we're going to go vendor items and hit vendor items misc. And then we're going to hit buy/sell everything not in list. So basically this guy does everything. Like he'll do weapons, he'll do ammo, he'll do armor, he'll do anything. But you can specify chems, food, misc, but I really don't know if that makes a difference. And buy stolen items, yes. Buy non-stolen items, yes. Now merchant container, we're going to select our reference and render window. And we're going to click our weird chest. So it's Abernathy Farm, exterior, tutorial vendor chest. And now we're going to go to general, and we're going to click and drag our actor into the membership section. And if that doesn't come up, then, okay, if it's not coming, I can't be bothered doing it like this. We'll do it a different way. Double click into tutorial vendor, and we'll go into his factions, and we're just going to right click new. And I'm just going to filter for tutorial vendor faction. There, now he's in it. So now you can put anyone in that faction, and anyone who's in that faction will have access to this vendor chest here. So basically we'll speak to him, he'll say, yeah, here's my stuff. That little script will run that shows barter menu, and then because we've set up this chest to be his vendor chest, and he's always a vendor no matter where he is because of the way I put him, the way I set him up, he'll show us the barter menu containing the stuff in this chest. So now I'm just going to hop in the game and demonstrate that. Okay, so we're here in Abernathy Farm, and our naked vendor is over here. Hello, do you want to buy my things? I forgot to set the greeting to requires player activation, so he'll force greet me every time. Yeah, I'd like to see them. Here's what I've got. And here we are, now everything's popped up. He doesn't have much in the way of money, because I just used trash can collar stuff, but we could have added as many caps as we wanted. I'll buy these power relay coils, and I'll maybe see what I've got. I'll sell him all of this. There we go. And he's got all my mods in his inventory, it's all working fine. Yeah, it is, Hancock. So, hopefully that was useful and clear. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.